All right. We'll call our meeting to order. This is a regular meeting of the Mayor and Borough Council of the Borough of Seaside Park, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, held on Thursday, September 14th, 2023, advertised to begin at the conclusion of the work session meeting, which has now just ended. Pursuant to the provisions of New Jersey's Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting was properly provided by transmitting the notice of the meeting for publication in the Asbury Park Press and the Star Ledger on January 4th, 2023. Notice of the meeting in the governing body has also been posted in the corridor of the municipal building and in the office of the municipal clerk. Roll call.
Councilmember Amador.
Present.
Councilmember Condos. Here. Councilmember Dr. McHugh. Absent. Councilmember Kraft.
Here.
Councilmember Welk.
Here.
Council President DeMichael. Absent. Mayor Peterson.
Here.
Thank you.
Let us all now rise for a moment of silence to be followed by our Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The next item on the agenda, it will be my proud duty and an honor to administer the oath of office for soon-to-be newest officer, Jonathan Buss. And I say the word newest, but he is no stranger to Seaside Park, and we're very, very lucky and fortunate to have already had him serving us, serving the public. He's a fine young man, and he is a professional. He has a great career ahead of him, and he is no unknown quantity. As I say, he's already been with us for many years as an officer, and I know that he and his parents who are here with him and Brianna they've all looked forward to this moment, as have the whole department and the Borough family. We're very proud of him. We already know him to be an accomplished professional with a long and distinguished career ahead of him. He's distinguished himself already once at the academy, and he's always excels. He comes up number one in almost every category, if not every category. And because of some kind of quirk in the bureaucracy, he has to take some of the classes in the academy again, I understand, and I have every confidence that he'll be right at the top of the list again. And so we're very, very honored, and we thank him for his past service and future service. So Jonathan, if you could come forward, and I know Mark and Colleen are on the raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Jonathan Buss,
I, Jonathan Buss,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially, and justly
impartially, and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of Seaside Park Police Officer
of Seaside Park Police Officer
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations. And now we will have the formal presentment to Jonathan by our Chief of Police. And we're honored to have the entire department here, and we welcome all of them. We thank them all for their service, and especially during these last difficult weeks, everything that they have done for our visitors, for our residents. And Jonathan, you've been there right with them, and we thank each and every one of them. Welcome them, and the chief will present to Jonathan his badge.
So this is, I think, the first. Usually borrow someone's badges. Because you're dealing with government, local, state, civil service, you never know. And we usually say, let's not touch the money. But the folks behind me, for sure, Jim, don't worry about it, it's getting done. We took a chance, and last month, we ordered John's badge with his number 603, which will follow him throughout his career. I'm sure down the road, there'll be some stripes, bars, stars added to it. So, congratulations. Welcome aboard.
Good job. A picture of Logo. Chief, do a picture, let them all come up and take one.
The whole department.
If you have them here, you should. Take the photo. Not now, wait, you gotta do it. Let me go. Thank you. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Well done. Chief, put his badge on.
You'll take some photos?
Put your badge. Put his badge on.
Figure out how to do that. Yeah. It's probably what you want.
We're gonna use that.
Sure.
Hello, sir. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that.
Two rows?
Never.
Jump in one condoms. Run up the grasses.
We find in the store. Crime takes the holidays. Sounds great.
Yeah.
I'll just like to turn
All right.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
You're getting soon when you're a nurse.
Of course. They can
Congratulations.
pharmacies. Hello.
That's very nice, man.
Yeah, that was good. Well, we have all the members of our department, nearly 100%. We wanted to thank each and every one of them, and especially what's happened this last week in our area, in our county, and I say thank you to the department. We have our fire chief here, Chief Vincent. We thank him as well. We thank him on behalf of a whole host of families, visitors, not just of our area, but up and down the coast here, and including those families that visited Island Beach State Park. And we can't say enough about them, along with, of course, all the members of the department, the Tri-Bar First Aid Squad, our police department, Public Works, and Good Samaritans, surfers, and we were very, very fortunate. We know we had a number of lifeguards who had finished their duties for the summer and were having a hamburger, whether it's celebrating, getting ready for college and college sports and going back. They were all called upon as well and dropped everything, and they helped with the rescue. So it was a whole team effort that prevented even greater tragedies, not just for our town, but for the whole area, as they were called upon all day for each and every one of those days in Island Beach State Park in particular, but in also nearby Berkeley Township, as well as our town and Seaside Heights. So thank each and every one of them. The next item on the agenda is minutes. We have August 24th, 2023, the work session, August 24th, 2023, a regular meeting. Are there any comments or corrections? If not, a motion?
I'll make the motion there.
Motion by Councilmember Kraft.
I'll second it.
Second by Councilmember Wilk. Roll call.
Councilmember Kraft?
Yes.
Councilmember Wilk?
Yes.
Councilmember Condos?
I was absent, so abstained.
Councilmember Ramaville?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Next are ordinances. First reading and introduction, ordinance 2023, amending chapter 435 of the Code of Seaside Park entitled Restricted Parking for Handicapped Persons. That references the most recent update, those that have met the parameters submitted and the credentials under review and submitted through the police department. Any other questions, comments of council, or if not, a motion?
I'll make the motion on that.
Motion by Councilmember Wilk,
Second?
second by Councilmember Kraft. Roll call.
Councilmember Wilk?
Yes.
Councilmember Kraft?
Yes.
Councilmember Condos?
Yes.
Councilmember Ramaville?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Next is first reading as well, introduction ordinance 2023-11, amending chapter 200 of the Code of the Borough of Seaside Park entitled Development Regulations. That through the committee. I don't know if any other comments if Councilmember Wilker has anything
No,
further.
this has to do with the height of the swimming pool there. Basically, what was discussed is that found that most of the pools were over the height that was allowed, so needed a variance, so
No,
the
I
committee
think-
looked into it in the planning board, and this is where we're at, with the change of ordinance.
And this had been reviewed previously by the planning board, and thank everyone involved for all the research and work. So this is a first reading. Is there any motion?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Councilmember Wilk,
Second?
second by Councilmember Condos. Roll call.
Councilmember Wilk?
Yes.
Councilmember Condos?
Yes.
Councilmember Kraft?
Yes.
Councilmember Ramaville?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Next are authorizations. There are three. The Ocean County St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee Irish Festival for September 23rd, 2023, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Rain date September 24th on the Marina Lawn. The second Zypho Wedding, September 29th, 2023, 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. Rain date September 30th, 2023, O Street Beach. And the third Ocean County Columbus Day Parade, October 8th, 2023, 1 to 3. The staging area in the beginning of the parade, Boulevard and various streets between Central Avenue and Ocean Avenue. Any questions, comments from council? Or if not, a motion?
May I have one on
Yes.
B?
Pardon me?
Go ahead, Howell. Yes, on the cyclone levy.
Yes.
The rain date does not have adequate insurance. It ends at 2 in the morning. So they only have.
So that must be, if approved, that would have to have that condition that the rain date again shows full coverage of insurance.
It says or October 1 possibly, so it would have to go through October 2.
Okay?
But I think they're only asking for the 29th and the 30th.
Oh, they also said maybe October 1.
Yeah, they also want beer too.
Well, that's the next thing. I think they also put in a request for grills to cook burgers and hot dogs. I don't know,
I believe
I don't think we don't do that.
Right.
That was addressed, yeah,
That was addressed already?
I have an email from them saying they understand they can't go on.
They can't do that. So to be clear, that the governing body is not going to be voting with regard to that request. And permitted to use public bathrooms, is the bathroom open during that time?
They will not be open.
Do they know that also?
They do.
Okay, so just to be clear, they understand there's no grilling, cooking, no public bathrooms, no facilities. They're just using the beach. All right? Okay.
Any other questions, comments from council on any of the three authorizations?
Nothing further.
If not, any motion, and if such a motion would have the three conditions referenced, in particular the insurance as to item B.
Motion to approve ABC.
Motion by Councilmember Condos,
I'll second.
second by Councilmember Amabile, with the conditions referenced as to item B. Roll call?
Councilmember Condos?
Yes.
Councilmember Anfield?
Yes.
Councilmember Kraft?
Yes.
Councilmember Wilt?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Next, number 9 is payment of claims. It's a bill list from August 25th, 2023 to September 14th, 2023. Any questions or comments from council, or if not, any motion?
I'll make the motion there.
Motion by Councilmember Kraft,
I'll second.
second by Councilmember Wilt. Roll call?
Councilmember Kraft?
Yes.
Councilmember Wilt?
Yes.
Councilmember Condos?
Yes.
Councilmember Anfield?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Next item are resolutions. I'll read in summary fashion. The first is 2024 JIF renewal. Next, 232, approval of the Alcohol Beverage Control Social Affairs Special Permit for Ocean County St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee, Inc. 233, accepting resignation of Anthony LaTarraca of the Public Works Department. And 234, authorizing purchase of garage door maintenance for Public Works Building, a proposal dated August 12, 2023 from Jammer Doors. 235, release of the performance bond and accept a maintenance bond for Marina Shoreline Stabilization Project. 236, authorizing the adjustment of the designated water sewer utility accounts. 237, appointing Class 2 special law enforcement officers for the calendar year 2023. 238, setting the compensation rate for Michelle Campo, Clerk 1. 239, authorizing the execution of an amendment to the employment agreement, the Borough Administrator. 240, authorizing the annual renewal of the standard AD&D policy as per work session discussion. 241, granting permission for Emergency Equipment Sales LLC to showcase Seaside Park Volunteer Fire Company No. 1 truck and apparatus at the New Jersey Firemen's Convention. 242, approval to submit an award extension requested for LA 222 MA Seaside Park Borough reconsideration and elevation Bayview Avenue, Phase 1, 15, to the New Jersey Department of Transportation. 243, authorization selected logo for the Decatur Avenue water tank. 244, authorizing the execution of a memorandum of agreement with OPEIU Local 32, that's the white collar. 245, authorizing execution of an agreement with Brown & Brown Metro LLC, a division of Brown & Brown Insurance for dental benefit coverage for employees. 246, authorizing T&M Associates to provide professional services for design, permitting, and submission of a grant application for reconstruction of the boardwalk from Fifth Avenue to K Street. 247, authorizing the appointment of an insurance consultant broker of record for dental coverage. 248, authorizing membership in the Seaside Park and Volunteer Fire Company. 249, authorizing the Borough Appraiser to update the condemnation appraisal for Block 73, Lot 34. Any questions, comments from council on any of the resolutions?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, on 246, I agree with Mr. Cole. I don't see why, if we're gonna go for the money, we should go for all of it. Let's go for all of it. Let's get the whole boardwalk done. All we can do is say no. So why limit the 5th Avenue to K Street? If somebody else, we can get the money.
I think it will hurt our scoring.
It will hurt our-
We're just
it will hurt.
replacing decking and not the infrastructure.
Oh, fine, but it'll hurt.
It's my
story.
Yeah, just for the record, there's what's called an RFP, request for proposal. There's a whole template, and our engineer will have to fill out in detail their questionnaire. And I'm sure the questionnaire is very detailed about why you need the repair status and whatever it is. So whatever we can apply for, I'm sure we'll apply for it. I'll make that clear to Mr. Schreiber, as long as it meets the requirements and the conditions of what they're requesting, obviously. There's a very, very specific detailed questionnaire, and they respond to it, you send it back, everything gets completed and submitted. So I'm sure Mr. Schreiber will complete the questionnaire and meet the requirements. I'll certainly convey to him to get this done, and whatever he can apply for, I'm sure he will, within the limits and the reasons that they're going to tell us we need to apply for these things. I don't think you just blanket say, hey, I want to own the boardwalk. I promise you it doesn't work that way.
Okay.
Very, very specific in terms of what needs to be submitted to obtain a grant, so.
Any other questions or comments from council on any resolution?
I guess one other comment, there was back in, I guess it was May 5th or something, in May 24th, there was a boardwalk stakeholders meeting. I know our attorney, Steve was also in attendance at the time. And in there, they discussed and they implied that resiliency is a very big factor in scoring. If we were to go in and say we just want to redo the decking, I'm sure that would be tossed. That's why we concentrated on the sections that have failing infrastructure. The timbers, the cross beams that the decking is screwed into. That's what's all failing. So we concentrated it in that area. That's why we did what we did.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from council? It's not required by law, but it's been our tradition here in Seaside Park for many years to go into the audience. If anyone has any comments on any of the resolutions, we would entertain that. If you have any, if you could give your name and address to the record. Alan?
Alan Mobley, 145 O Street. Was a little confused on the logo. Are we putting the zip on also, or are we just putting Seaside Park on there?
Zip code.
Zip also?
Yes.
Thank you.
Zip code, yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Al. Any other comments on any resolution? Hearing none, I would close the public portion and I would entertain a motion from council as a consent agenda of the resolution.
Make that motion there.
Motion by Councilmember Wilk,
Second?
second by Councilmember Condos. Roll call?
Councilmember Welch?
Yes.
Councilmember Condos?
Yes.
Councilmember Kraft?
Yes.
Councilmember Anfield?
Yes.
Motion approved.
And that concludes the written agenda. Does anyone else from council have any further comments or questions?
I have no
Yeah.
comments, but I did want to acknowledge and thank everyone who came out on September 11th. I thought it was a very beautiful service, and you did a great job, Mayor, addressing everybody. I think there were a lot of people that were very appreciative, and it was nice to have the fire trucks there and have such a great presence. Thank you for that.
Well, I thank each and every one of you, everyone up here, everyone in the audience, everyone who participated. It was truly a team effort, and that's one of the strengths of Seaside Park, is everyone always comes together and follows that tradition and many other traditions. People may have slightly different ideas here and there, but everyone comes together and follows those traditions and builds on them. So I agree with you. It was, I hope that kind of a ceremony was duplicated in each and every town. Any other questions, comments from council? If not, we'll go into the audience if there are any public comments. If anyone has them, if they could give their name and address into the mic. Yes, sir.
My name is Dr.
We can hear you.
Doesn't matter. My name is Dr. Michael Spadafino. I live at 59th Avenue. I am a candidate for city council. I just find it just totally unreasonable and unacceptable that we don't get the minutes or the agenda until the day of a meeting. That's just, I can't see how the people that are residents can have any opportunity to look up, to follow up, or to question anybody in town about what are the issues on the agenda for that night. Also, I'm looking at you and saying, well, if I didn't get it, did you get it? Have you had these agenda items like days ago, or did you get them this morning like I did? That is unreasonable, because you're being expected to sit here at a work session and make decisions on information that you just got a half a day ago. You should have this information at least 2 days before for the citizens and for council people to be able to look at, follow up, ask questions, and find out the information that's necessary so they can make intelligent decisions during the work session. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments? Yes, Alan? No. Denise? One.
Denise Corey, 8 Blake, Pennington /33 6th Avenue. I'm here tonight. This has been a big year here, 125th. And you partnered with the Historical Society, and recently the book came out. It's a nice book. However, there's a glaring omission in that book. My father served on this council. You remembered, you and the Historical Society. I'm lumping you all together because to me, it came across as a partnership. My father served on the council 2005. He was sworn in May 25th. He's the only person not on that list from 1848 to present. He was sworn in May 25th. He was on the ballot and won with 437 votes, second to Norma Spice in 2005, and kept his seat until, obviously, he passed away. My father's time was short. What he did during his time there was a time during the sawmill crisis. I'll call it a crisis because, God, that was what we were all talking about then. In fact, Alex was still here. He will say how my father rode along in the police car with him. My father was a champion of fiscal responsibility, bonding, banning with no plan, something he thankfully passed on to my sister and I. And I find it ironic in this high time of windmills that my father was put forth and was passed offshore drilling, anti-offshore drilling resolution. I understand it was a short time, but I also understand that my father was a part of history here. I even have a swearing-in picture. I find it disrespectful to my family, myself. I'm more worked up about it than anybody else in the family, I think, that he was left off this list. I'm not here, I don't want an apology, I don't want anything. All I want is to call to your attention that it was disrespectful, it was wrong, and I want it into the record again in a public forum that my father served for those months when he won an election. Unfortunately, he passed away. And I just hope that the next Historical Society / Council remembers it when you do the next book, because he served and his time was just as valuable and his votes were just as valuable as anybody up here today. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Denise. And certainly, I know I can speak for everyone, there was clearly no oversight. I know there are 5 names that were missed in the 100th anniversary book, and I had a note for 25 years, and we made sure those 5 people's names were in there. There may be a means to address this, because I'm told that the booklet, it's on the Historical Society agenda, that the booklets are unavailable now, having sold out, and they're talking about ordering for other events, at least another 100, so I would think that the printer could address that. But I know there were Mike Suzuki, and there was a number that weren't in the first, it wasn't Howard Arms, but there were a number of 4, one particular area were not in the first 100th anniversary booklet, so I think that that's something that we can try to look into. So, thank you, Denise, and apologies to you on behalf of the town if it was an oversight, so, on your family. Yes, sir.
Good evening. Thank you. One life
I
lost.
apologize, your name?
Yeah,
for the
Dr.
record?
Phil,
Thanks.
368 Decatur Avenue. One life lost is too many lives lost regarding the drowning. This is not the first drowning in September. I lost a neighbor 2-3 years ago who drowned in September. I think September is a bad month for swimmers that swim on the beach when their lifeguard's not around. Now, if Point Pleasant can do it, if Seaside Heights can do it, why can't we do it? Have some kind of a chain barrier at the bottom.
What should we do?
Well, I'm offering a solution.
You said Seaside Heights can do it and Point Pleasant can do it. Do what?
Let me finish.
Okay.
Okay, how about some kind of a chain barrier at the bottom of the ramp? I mean, it's for you all to explore it. I mean, you're on the council, you're the government body. But I would think maybe a chain barrier at the bottom of the ramp, maybe in the month of September only, because no one's going to swim in October, November. September is a high-risk month after our guards are off duty. That's my 2 cents worth. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Alan?
I just have a question on the resolution that was passed in February about the Phase 1 environmental study for the desert palm. Has that been completed? I can give you the resolution number. I think it's 202-389.
The Phase 1 has been completed.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Any, Mitch?
Mitch Koppelman, 204 10th Avenue. Just one more time, last meeting, I respectfully asked the council if one of you would step up to the plate and bring forward at a workshop a discussion of the potential sale of the N Street property and provide, we have some alternatives for parking for lifeguards. I know I can't ask you to put it on the workshop session, but one of you can, and I respectfully request again that you do that. The public wants to see that lot turn over.
Thank you, Mitch. Any other public comments? Yes, Shirley?
Shirley Crystal. Back to the wedding. Would it be a big deal to open the bathroom at the bathhouse for a couple getting married? I'll donate the toilet paper if that's an issue. It's a question of having someone to clean the bathroom afterwards and open it. Is there a fee that maybe? There is, and it's on the use of the facilities application. So they were informed that fee? So there was something presented to them? Okay, and I was going to ask too, when you're putting N Street up for sale, it sits there. When are you thinking of selling it? Because obviously we're not doing well with properties in town. Bombed out on I Street, at least let's sell something we can get money for. Oh, I'm not sitting down until somebody says something.
Well, we tried to sell it twice, and we
A
failed.
while ago, and now look at the market now. You know everything is going. Why aren't we putting it up now?
Certainly on the table.
It's on the table. Can we move it off the table and do it? I've never seen anything sit so long. Yep, mm-hmm, yep, mm-hmm. Move on it. Is anybody willing to sell N Street? Oh, you people.
I don't think we're not against it.
Yeah, it's in our long-term parking study, and it's in our long-term parking plan. I think I'd advise you.
How long, I mean,
It's
come
directly
on.
tied into another property that's involved in litigation.
Why does N Street have to be tied into, I know you talk about Desert Palm, I mean, that's obvious. Why can't we sell something and get money back in this town? We're now sitting with pieces of property. People have wanted N Street sold. Don't forget, elections coming. All right, let's move on to Bayfront. What's happening? Anything? We still stagnant on it?
We're having ongoing Zoom meetings with the Army Corps of Engineers and their representatives, with our consultants, Dr. Farrell's group, and Captain Al of the American Literal Society. They're spearheading our position that they're not reasonable in terms of the expanse of alleged disturbance to underwater vegetation, the SAV. So that's the issue right now in terms of the permit. That's our last permit that we need for the project.
Is there any possibility that in H Street, where the water just keeps coming over, because there's no wall there, which that's fine, but I know they put in these cages with rocks. Can something, even a boulder, something just be put there, and you're not going into you're staying on our property, right along the curb, can something be put there to slow that water down that it still comes over?
I think it's an idea, definitely, it's county technically, but they would act, I would suspect, upon our suggestions. I don't know, what are you saying, a wall? What are you?
Not so much a wall, but even like what you're gonna do down there, the cages with the rocks in it, or even like Bert says, there's boulders still sitting down at the marina. Put something there temporary, just to slow the waves.
I was hoping you'd bring up the marina. You see, a beautiful addition to our town. A project went to bid, successfully completed. Permits from the state, the county. The project on this agenda tonight, we're now retiring the bond, and it's over. It's completed, so the bond, they complied with all the construction. So you wonder what would be the difference between that well-needed Bayfront project and one other very much needed Bayfront project. One difference, a federal permit required by the Army Corps of Engineers, a federal agency involved in our Bayfront. So here's a nicely completed, beautiful new project versus the Army Corps not meeting with us in person, but participating in Zoom meeting after Zoom meeting with our team headed up by a national expert. So what conclusions might we draw, but I'm not going to go there right now. I want to cooperate with them. I want to agree with them, whatever reasonable requests they might make.
Maybe what would be a thought is, in like maybe a month, hold a meeting for Bayfront people, because truly, most feel we've just been dumped.
With the Army Corps?
Remember when we had everybody here, the ones with the plans of what they were going to do, and,
I presented.
huh?
I presented.
Yeah, there was a lot of people, that guy, presented. Can't we have a meeting for the Bayfront so they know that there is, I mean, I get questions all the time. I'm like, well, we're working on it. But I think people really want to know where we stand, what's happening, where's the holdup, what can we do to help push this forward?
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Any other public comments? Yes, sir.
I'm still Dr. Mike Spadafino. I still live at 59th Avenue. The gentleman earlier discussing the possibility about putting a chain across the entrance to the beach. I don't think that's feasible. I had a wonderful time on the beach today. I would not have been very happy if somebody after Labor Day put a chain across said I couldn't go on the beach. But we did well in our revenues from beach badges this year, and I would like you to think about the possibility of just putting a part-time officer on a 4x4 from 10 until 4 to patrol the beach and make sure that people are not going in the water if they should not be going into the water. And I think that would save lives, and it would not be very costly. That's all, just a thought.
Should I ask our attorney? No, he doesn't want to be put on the spot.
Once you assign someone the duty of patrolling the beach, you create a liability with regard to that issue. So either you have a full beach of lifeguards, or you don't,
Well,
quite frankly.
I disagree, but
You can disagree, but that's what the case is.
I disagree too.
You know,
And
unfortunately,
I know, I see a number, one former mayor was here, we have another distinguished former mayor here, and a group of former council members. The League of Municipalities is a bipartisan organization, and they have taken a strong stand a number of times to ask the legislature to grant further immunities to municipalities, in particular. The leading cases on this issue where you assume a duty to protect, save lives. This issue's come up repeatedly after season where we wanted to have some lifeguards, for example, posted on Stockton Avenue Beach, and we were told that the law won't allow it. The legislature has not addressed it. So if the legislature listens to the League, and the League is a bipartisan organization, very strong, they've taken a stand on this issue and it's been ignored. And all it would have to do would be expand the immunities to a town such as this that wants to help, wants to devote more, whether it's lifeguards, whether it's a patrolman like that patrolling. It's certainly an idea that could help protect lives. So.
Does anybody know what department that would be in to address? Because I would be very happy to, and I know other people in this room would be happy to contact.
The bills are out there.
The legislative people that are in that division. I mean, if anybody does know, I don't expect you to answer this.
It's not a division, it's a bill. I mean, everybody, it's very simple. It's more immunities to towns such as this unless there's an intentional act or a absolute reckless act. It's, the League has proposed it. Yes, Evie?
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead, finish.
No, I'm just...
Edie claim 48 11th Avenue. Whatever you just said, the word sparked in my mind. The police are there for our safety. If somebody is doing something reckless on the streets, they have the right and the duty to do something about that. So I'm not saying, obviously I'm not saying you're wrong, don't get me wrong. I just don't understand why a policeman patrolling the beach, if somebody is doing something reckless on the beach, why that wouldn't be the same as somebody doing reckless on the street.
Reckless in terms of going in swimming? I don't know. Reckless driving, yes.
Yeah, going in the water when there's no lifeguard, to me seems reckless. No?
He's just patrolling the
He's patrolling up and down, and if he has knowledge that there are riptides, now, there are riptides everywhere all the time.
breaking the law.
Wouldn't that be described as reckless behavior? You don't think it's reckless to go in the water when there's a riptide and there's no lifeguard?
Yeah.
Well, that's my point.
Yeah.
Mr. Sabarsky, is that, am I just not understanding this?
I'm not going to get into any legal, the answer is, we can't patrol the beach or provide part-time lifeguards. It's either we have a fully staffed beach with lifeguards, or we have none.
Well, I know in the past, we've had police patrol the beach.
Patrolling for general nuisance or whatever is one thing. Guarding the beach is completely different.
All right, I guess that answers my question. Thank you.
Mike?
If there's 10 people up on that beach swimming without a lifeguard up there, 9 of them, if not 10 of them, are holding surfboards, how are you gonna stop them? They're not doing anything wrong?
You're not going to stop them, that's exactly right. That's exactly the
To make
point.
your point.
That's exactly the point.
Thank
Don't
you.
have control past the high water.
Yes, sir.
I'm Tom Joseph, 704 South Bayview Avenue. I just got to say something about the topic you've just been talking about. I agree. I don't think we should be telling people they can't go in the water if it's a situation where we're not patrolling. It's unfortunate that the accidents happen, but unless we literally close the beach, and I don't think we want to do that, and that would involve chaining it off on the inboard side of the berm, then we should leave it alone.
We can't, it's called the public trust doctrine.
Yeah.
We have to provide access to
So I
the
think
beach.
we're doing the right thing now, and it's unfortunate that these things occur. When we know that the riptide is so dangerous that it literally isn't safe to go in the water during the season, we put up, 2 red flags? And then the beach is labeled as don't go in the water. I don't know if there's any possibility of continuing to use the flag system beyond the end of the season. But it may be an all or nothing situation, I don't know. My original intent to walk up here to say a few things was really on a completely different topic. I find these meetings so completely opaque that despite the lists of things that you talk about and the agendas, which I agree with Mike over here, putting the agenda out today is way too late if you want anybody to understand what's going on. But really, if you're interested in having the residents who are sitting out here to get any insight in what's going on, there's a lot of things that could have been done differently. And let me just give you a couple of examples from today's meeting. There's no posting of the minutes. So you guys agree that you like the minutes from the last meeting, but none of us see them. They're not posted. The payment of claims thing that comes up at every meeting, I'm not really sure I want to see that, but there's literally no information. From our perspective as an audience, that's just a waste of time. Now, I realize you have to vote on it, but perhaps there could be some way to treat that such that there's some information flow. Right now, there's zero. The first resolution, the JIF renewal. Dr. Fritz, in the last meeting, raised some interesting questions. He's not here tonight. You guys said nothing about his questions. So either they were completely ignored, and he's our representative on the JIF right now. So either they were completely ignored, or you don't care, or you resolved them in some way, which you did not communicate to the residents, especially those of us that were here last time and heard the questions raised. So it's like, are you really interested in conveying any information to us? And then I got one more I just got to throw out there. Your resolution to amend the employment agreement for our bureau administrator. Last time I checked, she's a public employee. There's some amendment out there, or appendix, or whatever it's called, Schedule A, that has some information. I'm told the only way I could look at that is to do an OPA request. Why isn't that included with the resolutions? After all, the public employee, that information is public information. Why is it you make it that hard? For all I know, you just amended her agreement to pay her $1 million. I don't know. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any other public comments? Yes, Jerry?
Jerry Rotunda, 211 11th Avenue. I'm back at the beach access before we got sidetracked. What somebody was alluding to was Point Pleasant. Point Pleasant is privately owned by Jenkinson's except for a one-block stretch, and they closed it and because they got a lawsuit from a couple of years ago, somebody drowned on a closed beach. Seaside Heights took the position that they have a sign that says no swimming with lifeguards aren't on duty. If you catch you swimming, they're writing you a ticket and you're removed from the beach. Surfers are not included. And I believe there was one other exception, but that's what they're just going to enforce the rule that's already there. Closing the beach and putting a chain up is ridiculous. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Any other public comment? Yes, sir.
Just, I think I noticed that Portland did put double reds up, since they closed the beach.
Thank you.
And, one other thing, just, it would be nice if we could have more copies of this, so that as many people as want, the agenda can get a copy.
Thank you, sir. Any other public comments? Hearing none, I close the public portion. I'd entertain a motion unless anyone on council has anything else. Motion by Councilmember Kraft, second by Councilmember Wilk. Roll call.
Councilmember Kraft?
Yes.
Councilmember Welch?
Yes.
Councilmember Condos? Yes. Councilmember Atherville?
Yes.
Motion approved.